Reading intro, doc excerpts, 2016 Russian election interference for U.S. history. A. An excerpt from Hacking the Voter, Calabrese Massimino, Time Magazine, October 2016. To understand why Putin would want to undercut the legitimacy of the U.S. election, it helps to step back from the long and ugly presidential campaign and remember why we're voting in the first place. Elections are the ultimate source of authority in our democracy. Because Republicans and Democrats have agreed for decades that spreading democracy is good for everyone, America has pushed for free and fair elections around the world. Not surprisingly, quasi-authoritarian rulers, dictators, in the former Soviet Union see America's sometimes aggressive evangelism about the benefits of liberal democracy as a direct threat to their own claims to authority. Putin has taken particular umbrage, accusing the U.S. and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, in particular, of meddling in Russia's presidential election in 2012. Now experts say Putin has expanding his anti-American campaign into cyberspace, more than any attempt to get one candidate or another elected. This Russian influence operation is about discrediting the entire idea of a fair and free election. Excerpt B, from Inside a 3-Year Russian Campaign to Influence U.S. Voters, The New York Times, February 17, 2018. At the height of the 2016 campaign, the effort employed more than 80 people who used secure virtual private network connections to computer servers leased in the United States to hide the fact that they were in Russia. From there, they posed as American activists, emailing, advising, and making payments to real Americans who were duped into believing that they were part of the same cause. The scope of the operation was sweeping. The Russians assumed their fake identities to communicate with campaign volunteers for Mr. Trump and grassroots groups supporting his candidacy. They bought pro-Trump and anti-Clinton political advertisements on Facebook and other social media, and they used Instagram accounts to try to suppress turnout of minority voters and campaign for Ms. Stein, the Green Party candidate. Applying nearly 2 years' worth of political research, the Russians used all of these tactics to target voters in swing states, notably Florida, according to the indictment. In mid-October, Woke Blacks, an Instagram account run by the Internet Research Agency, carried a message: hatred to Trump is misleading the people and forcing blacks to vote Hillary. We cannot resort to the lesser of two devils. Then we'd surely be better off without voting at all. Then, just days before Americans went to the polls, another Instagram account controlled by the Russians called Blacktivist urged followers to choose peace and vote for Ms. Stein, who was expected to siphon support from Mrs. Clinton's campaign. Trust me, the message read, it is not a wasted vote.